Good morning. I chose the subject of mindfulness today because to take care of a little technical detail here. All right. To me, mindfulness is what changed my life, changed me. And we are going to start teaching classes at Circle of Light. Just not sure if we're going to do them virtually or not. I really prefer to do them in person. Excuse me. I greatly prefer having the classes in person. And the most convenient time for me would be after service. That'd be a Sunday night, like about 7:30. So my first question to you is: would you come to an in-person class? If so, when? And if you have a strong preference for making them virtual, um, let me know. I mean, I've taught them when I've taught classes at Circle Light. I've done it both ways. At the same time, even have a few people in person, have my computer in front of me, a few people online. Um, so there's that. Uh, I start with mindfulness because, like I said, that's what changed me, changed my life. So I'd like you to consider this question: how would your life change if you could observe your feelings and thoughts objectively, without judgment, to see them as they truly are? How would your thinking change? What beliefs would change? What beliefs about yourself would change? One reason this is important, well, from what I have observed, put it this way: belief is the key to everything. So I said in the title, mindfulness is the key to happiness. Well, really, I would say mindfulness helps you change your beliefs about yourself, which are the key to happiness. Is probably more accurate to say. Many wise people through time, ancient philosophers, spiritual people, etc., have said the greatest question you can ask is, "Who am I?" And ask that question over and over. Ask that question all the time, and you should, if you're growing and evolving, get different answers, not just get the same answer all the time. And that question, "Who am I?" helps you examine what you believe about yourself. So even little things like if you walk in the kitchen, forgot what you went in there for, you open the refrigerator and went, "What the hell did I come in here for? God, I'm so stupid." Whoa, whoa, whoa. No, you're not. One of my favorite examples to use is, okay, William, if your best friend walked into the kitchen and said that, would you believe they're stupid? Well, of course not. And why would you believe that about yourself? So, one of the great examples or exercises I do is apply your beliefs of yourself to other people, and that should start changing things right away. That leads to examining your inner voice. And what I've learned from psychology and one of my friends, Dawn Landrum, who's a hypnotherapist, fantastic person. If you're looking for a hypnotherapist, let me know. I'll give you her number. Your inner voice is the voice of your parent or main caretaker when you were a kid until you change it. Think about that. No, don't think about it. Let it rest. Let it simmer. Observe your inner voice. How do you talk to yourself? What do you say to yourself? Like, oh yeah, thank you very much. What do you say to yourself repeatedly? What's the picture in your head? Because the picture in your head illustrates what you believe. Am I my thoughts? Am I my feelings? Here's my definition. Mindfulness is a state of active, open attention in the present. When you're mindful, you observe your thoughts and feelings from a distance without judging them good or bad. Instead of letting your life pass you by, mindfulness means living in the moment and awakening to experience without being overwhelmed by it. So you notice that key feature, two key features: observation without judgment. Super simple. Observation, holding your attention without judgment. When you practice mindfulness, you can improve not only your excuse me like your overall happiness in the ways I just described, but also your abilities or skills. Like, how do I do what I do? How am I able to channel a loved one or a spirit guide without being schizophrenic? How am I able to, well, Deborah, thank you very much, Deborah, taught us. Let's say, like, my first spirit guide's name is Sarah, the first one I was aware of, and they gave me a name. So I would breathe in Sarah, breathe out William. Breathe in Sarah, breathe out William. And let Sarah come in this far and talk. Peace of mind, we talked about that. Mindfulness is absolutely a pathway to peace in the self and peace of mind. Stopping the hamster wheel of mental chatter and rumination. Anxiety. Anxiety and worry are misuses of the imagination. You're imagining, oh, that person must think I'm a total bitch. That person must think, you're thinking what other people think, and you're wrong. Let me just tell you, you're wrong. You don't know what other people are thinking. That is way out of your purview. The opposite of that, to me, is acceptance. Accepting what's right in front of you, which people also have a hard time with, as in, I don't know why I didn't see those red flags. That guy ended up being such a jerk. Blah, 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 blah. Because you see what you want to see. You didn't accept or receive the information because you didn't want to. To me, it's just that simple. So mindfulness helps you with acceptance, helps you accept the realities right in front of you. So think, what are those words, those defense mechanisms that help us not accept reality? Deny, as in denial, rationalization, justification, blame, all those things, those defense mechanisms, all ways of avoiding what's right in front of your face. Intuition, of course, mindfulness helps intuition, because that's how, like for me, the way I experience it, like I said, spirit comes in from this side, almost always from this side, and I can hold my attention there and receive the vision and feel the feeling that comes with it, because I've learned to hold my attention still. Permanent healing. What do you mean permanent? I mean, behind every disease and disorder is a mental and emotional cause. I can talk about that whole subject another day, but just for now, accept the theory that behind every disease and disorder is a mental and emotional cause. An example would be like a virus. Okay, like I did this reading during COVID-19, the pandemic, and the virus karma is healthy boundaries because viruses invade your body the same way you let other people's thoughts and emotions invade your personal space. So, one of the lessons that COVID 19 brought was healthy boundaries. Healthy boundaries is not the same as defensiveness. Healthy boundaries is not just walls, those are often unhealthy boundaries. Isolation is not a healthy boundary. And you might say, well, William, I need isolation right now because I am in whatever kind of state. Okay, for right now, yeah, but not forever. It's not a long-term solution, not even close. It can quickly become very unhealthy. Improved memory and recall, like that example of I walk into the kitchen and forgot what I came in there for. I hold my attention on my goal. I hold my attention in the moment. I'm not thinking about all these other things I used to think about. So I walk in the kitchen knowing exactly what I'm in there for. Self-confidence and self-esteem, of course, because when your memory is better, your intuition is better, um, your self-confidence and self-esteem follow with that. One of my all-time favorite books, spiritual books, is called Anatomy of the Spirit by Carolyn Myss. That's Myss, and she talks very plainly in there about the relationship between self-esteem and intuition. Example: at an early age, let's say you live in a nice household. You don't even have like abusive parents. You live in a household, but they have like they have certain beliefs, okay? And you see your dead grandma at the top of the stairs when you're going to bed or something, and your mom says, "Oh, honey, that's just your imagination. Grandma's been gone for quite a while now. Go ahead and go to bed." Or you wake up from a dream or something. It's just your imagination. Or maybe you're raised in a religion like Catholicism that believes in saints, at least in angels. Oh, that's your guardian angel. Okay, so most of us are taught at an early age to deny outright our intuition. Just told that it's wrong, it's just your imagination. So when you learn at an early age to not trust your intuition, you learn to not trust yourself, and that equals low self esteem until you change it. Dream work. Holding your attention in the present when you're awake equals holding your attention in the present when you're asleep. And you will be more lucid when you dream. Uh, Dream recall is better. All kinds of things you can do in dreams. And I'm an empath. Okay. The tone of my voice is because empath to me quickly became a greatly overused word, and it's really not even what empath means. Empathy does not mean you just are open to everything. But that's how people are using the word empath. All right, so you're empathic. You are open. You are sensitive. What's wrong with saying I'm just sensitive? As an extra sensory perception, not one of the five scientifically based senses. So anyway, mindfulness helps you control that. Helps you discern what's mine and what's not mine. Very, very helpful. Same thing with the intuition, like okay, this guide is coming in or whatever, and I know it's not my feelings. Like like oh gosh, I was doing a reading for a young man several years ago, and so when I'm doing a reading for a person, usually it comes as a vision and quickly thereafter a feeling. And this one, I was feeling the feeling very strongly, and I did not like it. It was horrible, horrible feeling. And I felt it like a wall coming towards me, like a force field. And I was like, oh no, 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 no. I do not, nope, I do not like this. I do not like this. And the vision came of this person being bound up. Um, and the feeling was total helplessness, like I know I'm going to die. So this guy was bound up, like tied up, and either killed and dropped in a well or a cistern. I think it's like a cistern, or he was put in there and left to die. Anyway, it was a horrible death, and it was a feeling of being completely helpless because you're tied up, you know you're going to die. It was horrible. It was the most horrible, well, probably the second most intense experience I've had doing a reading. The other one was much more personal. So the client said, yeah, I know who that is, and we never knew what happened to him. So he was killed by like a gang or a mob or something, and they never knew, the family never knew what happened to him. But my point is that I was able to maintain my sanity and composure because I knew that wasn't me. It was something coming to me. Um, so that's some basics about mindfulness, and we can just continue this on Wednesdays until you tell me otherwise. Um, I'm going to read this paragraph in my notes that I titled Attitude is Everything. Everyone knows of a genius who has made an astonishing discovery or brilliant insight. This person has a one-track mind. That one track is so important that the whole mind, or full mind, i.e., mindful, is directed to the solution of the problem. This undivided attention creates a condition for the individual to utilize not only the conscious mind, but the subconscious and superconscious too. Whenever you bring awareness to what you're directly experiencing via your senses, or to your state of mind via your thoughts and emotions, you're being mindful. And there's growing research showing that when you train your brain to be mindful, you're actually remodeling the physical structure of your brain. And now we know it's true. We know it's absolutely true. When I was in high school about, a few hundred years ago, we rode dinosaurs to school every day. Um, we were taught that the brain stops developing when you're somewhere between 17 and 23 or something like that, around 20 years old or so. And now we know it's not true. We know it's just not true. So, when you develop the skill of mindfulness and direct your attention, you can literally rewire your brain. So, more on that next time. Peace and love and good happiness stuff. Have a great day.